Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope this broadcast finds you well. What's going on today? Oh, we got a flare-up in the Middle East, as has been going on for 1,000 years. And we got Karmelo Anthony is getting ready to go before the jury. The case is wrapped up, and the jury is going to be sequestered. What will happen? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about these judges. Somebody is sitting around and thinking of every little thing they can do to disrupt the Trump presidency. And we're going to talk about that and a lot of other stuff. But what do I do? What do I do while people are coming in, settling in, getting themselves a cup of coffee, a cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage of their choice? I play a video that people can relax to, and then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before we even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does
close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate it. I hope you all know I appreciate it. How do you like my thumbnail? Enough. Donald Trump getting ready to stomp on the deep state right on their face. So anyway, I'm glad everybody's here tonight. Who came to see me? Oh my goodness. Sherry's here. Melinda's here. Angel's here. Nice to see you, Angel. Colette. Nice to see you, Elva, Tammy, Todd's here. Nice to see you, Cole and Tammy are the younger gang, if you didn't know. Kim, nice to see you. Robin, all right. Sherry's here, Cole's here, Robert is here. Let me see, Rebecca. Wayne's here giving me a thumbs up. Yes, give me a thumbs up. It helps the video to get around. And you can give me a thumbs up after the video live stream. Make sure you do that. I do appreciate it. I don't want to miss anybody. Tammy's here. Let's see. Angel. Darla. Who else is in here? I want to make sure I get everybody. And Brett's here. Nice to see you, Brett. All right. So, maybe we'll get somebody new into that. Hi, Gary. Nice to see you. Yes, it's payback time. Payback time. We get somebody new, and we're going to try to turn them. We're going to turn them. We're going to infuse them with logic and kindness, and encourage them to be a friend of the chat. Right? Flannel Cheese. Nice to see you, Miss Mendersu. Nice to see you. So, we'll try our best, right? We'll try our best for comity. 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 Hi, Judy. Nice to see you. All right. And my lurkers, I want to say hello to my lurkers. All right. Linda Marie's here making peanut butter brownies. All right. Sounds good. Big glass of cold milk with that. Yeah. All right. So, I got on a TDS judges. That is too kind. That is too kind. They're insurrectionist judges. Okay. There's something wrong with these people's brains. Every time you turn around, there are suits being filed for the stupidest garbage. And, one thing that's, pretty low key compared to other years is the stupid Pride Month. I barely notice it. The next thing is a dopey Juneteenth garbage. I don't even know what the construct is behind that. I don't care. Hi, Brett. How you doing? And all right. Yeah, here's the first Pride Month. Lucifer getting thrown out of heaven. And boy, ain't that the truth. Now, this group wanted to make a big stink. A big stink. Just their existence is a big stink. But lawsuit says it seeks to stop deeply corrupt UFC event at the White House. Trump getting guffed because he wants to go to a ball game. Now, here, less than a week, or a week away, they're filing a lawsuit in federal court to stop the UFC fight. 1 week ahead of the White House hosting an Ultimate Fighting Championship event. A public interest law firm. Just ABC News, just say who these malcontents are. Okay? And we ought to find out where they're getting funded from. Because like I said, these attorneys don't get out of bed every morning and say, what can I do for free? Is it U.S. aid money? Is it NGO money from a foreign source? Our money that's been sent to a foreign entity and then shipped back here? No, it's a public interest law firm is attempting to stop the high-profile sports event from taking place. In a lawsuit filed this weekend, the Public Integrity Project, I guess that's the name of the complainants, claimed the event was improperly permitted. The President of the United States said, yeah, have an event in my front yard, okay? Skipped environmental review. What the hell? And is an extraordinary use of public land to benefit President Trump and his allies. Totally outrageous. And, I've already seen some videos, like Judge Napolitano. Well, they don't have any standing. It's going to get thrown out. It's just a PR stunt and this and that. So most people that watch these videos like, well, it's just smoke and mirrors. Nothing's going to happen from it. I wouldn't be so sure. With some of the things I showed you all yesterday, they got to go around and judge shop. And keep in the back of your mind, I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying there's a possibility that a lot of these cases are being steered to where judges go on the record as being unfit for office. Because when the time comes to do a purge, a much needed purge of people that are harming this country and using their office to defraud the American people, you can't go on suppositions. Maybe they would have done this. I think more likely you got to get them where they do something and they take pen in hand or whatever and put it down for the record. So wouldn't it be something if they get some Judge Frimpong or some other triple citizen or whoever they could dig up to actually put an injunction and stop this event? What do you think would happen with the public then? And is it going to be a judge we haven't heard of yet? Because, Judge Boasberg can only show his rear end so many times. Somebody that hadn't gone on the record as being a malcontent TDS lunatic. So I don't know. We shall see. Then the fight might go off. Everything's just fine. This all might just be a smoke and mirrors PR stunt that's going to fail miserably. They may be scraping the bottom of the barrel. But then again, it may be an operation to get these people on record. Social justice warriors is what they think they are. So anyway, you had that happen. And then this ninny right here. Who is this creep? Judge throws out Trump administration's policy imposing $100,000 fees for H-1B visas. I didn't get his name yet, but we will. Here he is. Here's a close-up of him. Some egghead. He said that it was an unlawful tax. One of the reasons that he gave. It's the State Department. It's immigration. It's not in your purview. It's not in your purview. How much direction has the Supreme Court given There it is at the bottom. Workers amounts to an unlawful tax. $100,000 fee because these people are supposed to be taking over high-tech jobs. And we all know they end up, how can I help you? Do you need help me make you slippy here at the 7-Eleven? They're all coming in and get just jobs Americans need to get started in the workforce. And you end up with our citizens sitting around in the alleyway or young people with nothing to do, no opportunity in jobs, and you know what that leads to. So we can't get them out without judges frustrating every step of the way. You can't impose fees for these visas, which has never been an issue ever until Trump comes along. So we're going to keep an eye on this development, but we need to fast track this stuff once these judges put themselves on the record. And we need to do a purge just like Bukele did, get rid of these bastards. So on top of everything else I showed you, I might even have another example in here. We got the UFC fight and H-1B visas being challenged. Everything is where these nondescript, unknown judges can just pop out of the woodwork from any podunk county, district, and stop the president of the United States anytime they want to. It's insane. It's not the way our judicial system was set up. It's not functioning in the manner in which it was intended. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Who else did I miss? Let me see here. Doc, nice to see you. Well, we're breaking through. We're breaking through. Oh, you need a chiropractor? Yeah, well, you get a good one. That I've had a lot of people rave about the improvements that they've had. So anyway, we shall see how these things come out, and there'll be more judges down the road. And people are surprised about how quickly this Carmelo Anthony case wrapped up. And I hadn't had a chance to talk about it too much. I was going to talk about Chud the Builder and his situation. He's sitting in jail, and the guy that's got shot is in the hospital. He might be out. I don't know. But anyway, I was going to talk about, here you got two grown men. One's black, one's white. And their behaviors, was it worth it to both of you? It was going to be my question when I was going to focus on the topic about both of them. What are both of you thinking? One could have lost his life and is sitting in the hospital. And the other one is fighting for his freedom and sitting in jail and might end up in jail for decades. What were both of you grown men thinking about? But it's something deeper than that. It's something deeper than that. And when you watch some of these videos on the Carmelo Anthony thing, it's really not racial. It's really not. It's an attitude. It's a culture. I've seen videos where people are outside making excuses for Carmelo Anthony, practicing voodoo. Voodoo. Who the hell does voodoo? Oh, wait a minute. We got how many Haitians came over here? And the bottom line is, do you want a society when there is something that happens 100 times a day when school is in, two young guys getting snitty with each other or getting in a tussle? Or, how many times did you see the PE teacher break up something? And 9 times out of 10, by the time they graduate, they're friends. But somewhere down the line, they're butting heads. That's called life. So are we going to say that when that happens, somebody's got the right to take somebody's life like that? It's insane. And I watch these videos and listen to the characters that are outside. And thank God I can confidently say to myself, they are a minority. A minority, and I don't mean by race. I mean by their attitude, their belief systems, their culture, their IQ. They are a minority. But until this point, they have been given the power of a media bullhorn that supports anarchical thinking, anarchy, chaos, because evil thrives off of chaos. Okay, so I watched one video. Got me mad, and where is it? I watched a couple of his videos in the past just for whatever. His name, here he is. Willie D Live. You see how far I got through the video? Maybe 5 minutes. And I said, I had enough of this. The thumbnail tells you what you need to know. Case closed. Officer on Karmelo Anthony case confirms it was legal. I said, wait a minute. I watched not many of his videos, but I watched some in passing. He didn't come across me as a nut. But I said, no, wait a minute. He's talking about the defense put up at the end of police officers talking about the law in Texas. There's no law against bringing a knife to school under 5.5 inches. But it is against school policy. So the gist of this video, well, it wasn't illegal to have it. So the case is closed. Karmelo gets to walk. I couldn't watch anymore. Didn't want to put something too rough in the comments, but I was going to, say, what's your IQ, Willie? What's wrong with your brain? But I didn't. I put a comment in there about the granddaddy of them all. The granddaddy of them all. What started this? Do you all know who I think is the granddaddy of them all? Where people look at things not in the sense of justice, but in the sense of a tribe. Right there. The granddaddy of them all, O.J. Simpson. I put in the comments, I said, O.J. is smiling up from hell. Right now. He's smiling up from hell for the people that are defending this Karmelo Anthony. Now, I understand he was 17, and it'd be difficult for, especially, people with certain sensitivities. Females are not inclined to do the ultimate penalty, or even life without parole for somebody that's young. It would be difficult, even in a state like Texas. And I've never demanded that. And it's such that because he was 17, he's not up for the ultimate penalty. And he's got to get something extremely serious. He's got to be made an example of, or we're going to have this happening. It's going to be a rash of these things breaking out. People going to settle scores. People feel he brushed up against me. I told him don't touch me. People berating and provoking other people they got a beef with. And if the person pushes back or has a normal teenage response that under normal circumstances would be harmless, like I've said in the past, you get your nose twisted, or you get a kick in the pants. Does that mean you lose your life? According to this way of thinking, yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's justified. But like I talk about this guy on Black and White Sports. Right after I watched Willie D and I got puked out. This was a picture he had. I sniped it from his broadcast. Karmelo Anthony, he's done, according to Black and White Sports. And no, I'm not making I'm not saying, just that's the way I feel. I paid attention to the testimony and the recaps of the testimony. He had a terrible day today. His defense. He had a kid that was saying he was surrounded. He was about to get jumped. And when he was on the stand and showed the video, he's like, well, no, that's not what happened. No, he wasn't surrounded. No, he didn't get jumped. And the lunch break took a real long time. And a lot of people watching the trial was saying, well, it's going to be a plea bargain for, manslaughter, reckless homicide, something where he would do like, I don't know, decades, not 5 years, not whatever, but not first degree. So, okay, well, hey, the prosecutors are handling, the judge is handling, whatever's going on. But they said that the parents of Karmelo Anthony, lost it and were freaking out and crying and hollering and carrying on. And so the judge said, okay, we'll just put it before a jury. So they're going to start deliberating tomorrow. We may get an answer tomorrow. And I feel that these people, not only, it's tough enough to not delude yourself. Self-delusion. Most people suffer from that in some form or another. It's hard enough to thine own self be true. But when you've got people in the background, when you've got media, especially what's supposed to be credible media, reinforcing that delusion that somehow he's a victim, that somehow there is this ethereal cloud hanging over this nation that the devil made me do it. I can't get a fair shake. We can't get a fair shake. He's innocent. If it wasn't for this society, this culture, this country, whatever, we wouldn't be in this situation. But that's not the case. To thine own self be true. And the testimony is pretty rock solid that he was full of himself. He was ready for trouble. Remember the stories I've told about you were looking for trouble and baby, you found it. He was ready for it. He didn't bring that knife not for nothing. Okay? He had a chip on his shoulder and he was saying exactly the things that you say to a young person, especially somebody who's the captain of the team and has a reputation and is supposed to be helping the coach keep order. And then you have somebody coming in calling you the street name for, I hate to say it, a vagina. I got it written down. That's how I'm pronouncing it phonetically. Vagina. The street name, it starts with a P. and daring you. Provoking is the term. Challenging. This is a sports event. That's what sports are all about. I accept your challenge. I will win. No, you won't. I will win. We will win. Our team's the best. No, our team's the best. It's competition, okay? It's rising to challenges. Challenging yourself to do better. So when you come under that tent, and behave that way, he knew damn good and well something was gonna happen. And nobody, not a soul, watching the whole incident had you ever been in a situation where you got a feeling something bad's going to happen? And you see that there might be somebody really get hurt. You get that cold-blooded feeling. It's like a flash, ice in your veins. Nobody got that feeling. And in schools, when kids get in a fight, what happens? The cameras cut on and back, fight. Everybody runs, oh, God. And everybody, there they are, focusing on the two people that are getting ready to get in a fight. It never got to that point. Most people were looking at it with half an eye and looking at the people that were training or whatever was happening with the, was there going to be a rain delay or not a rain delay? And people didn't feel there was even going to be a little bit of tussle. And then, wham. Let me say, to pierce that chest bone took force. And, it's not some, it was an accident. I was just going to, like show it to him. And somehow no, it was done with force. Only he knows what was running through his mind. So we'll see what the jury does. Are we going to have a nervous Nelly or somebody of that culture, that they've inherited some kind of guilt, or they've talked themselves into having some kind of guilt because they are white, white guilt? I don't know. Are you going to have somebody that just sees a kid, I don't want to send him to jail forever. You might get one, you might get two, you might get none. If you get none, he's going away for life. And from what I was hearing, if that's the case, he'd be eligible for parole. The guy on Black and White Sports, he said, well, earliest you could get a parole hearing consideration will be 30 years. And he could be in there 40 or 50 years if he lived that long. So the speculation is that there was a delay and a conference, and the offer was made for something like, I don't know what the exact charges would be, something like manslaughter or reckless homicide, which carried probably a minimum 20 to 30 years, or 20 to life with the possibility of parole. And that was the best they were going to get. And the parents lost it. They lost it. And anger, because they have the media and they have this crowd outside so adamantly saying that he should just go home. He had every right to do what he did. That video I showed you, Willie D or whatever his name is, I read some of those comments and they're nauseating. Nauseating. And I almost was going to put it on my thumbnail after I almost put it in the comments and I thought better of it. Because I don't want to paint one group of people with a broad brush. I've said that 1,000 times on this broadcast. I was going to say Scott Adams was right. And we all know why Scott Adams got deplatformed, censored, all of his cartoons taken down, his career destroyed, and he started a new one. Because he said, you know, if black people say they want to end your life, stay the hell away. Don't go around them. Move in a neighborhood where there's nobody around like that. And boy, was it a firestorm. And you read those comments under that Willie D or whatever his name, I forgot it. That could be it. It might not be. And you say to yourself, you can't live around people like that make excuses for this person. This, in my opinion, from what I've seen and heard, he's spoiled, he's arrogant, he was looking for trouble, he was ready for it, he knew what maybe to it. He didn't have a particular victim in mind. But somebody was going to get it if they touched his royal ass. I'll put it that way, okay? Don't touch my royal ass or I'll end your life. I'll say whatever I want to you. I'll provoke you. I'll try to shame you. I'll challenge you. I'll treat you like a punk. And don't you dare lay your hands on my royal ass or I'll end your life. That was what I think was going through his mind. And you know how many people had that attitude in the comments with that Willie D video? I think he had 1,000 comments. I couldn't believe it. Well, his royal rear end is going to be sitting in jail. And it should be, has to be. Has to be. Because this goes, when you add it all up, some of the things I'll put on the screen, where if this goes the wrong way, there'll be so many malcontents, and I don't like using rough language, but I'll say it again. So many royal asses out there with a chip on their shoulder that there's going to be big problems in this country. And there already is all over the world. Look what happened to that young man with the cops saying, no, you're not stabbed, mate, and dragging him across the gravels while his hands turned blue in their hands. I've seen people turn blue. I've seen people lose their lives. And anybody with a brain in their head, when they see that, you know something is seriously wrong. Something has to happen now, or that person's not going to live. But these cops were too stupid and too arrogant. But what was the cause? What was the cause? He got it because of the color of his skin. They said that the person that did it chased him and taunted him and filmed him after they stabbed him. They found that. They have video of that. They don't dare release it because the UK is ready to blow any minute anyway. How can you imagine that? How far away is this character on the screen? Which this AI, I think that Black and White Sports did. How far away do you think him and that crowd outside the courtroom calling people crackers and you deserved it. Keep your hands to yourself. How far away do you think they are from doing that to somebody and filming what they did and mocking and chasing and laughing at somebody while their life drains away from them? It's a lot. How many more do you think there would be if this character gets off? A lot. So this jury, let's just pray that they have their heads on right. And they do. Hi, Sparky. And they do what is best for society as a whole and not shed tears for this little fool. And you know, let me get him off screen. You know what I'm thinking is coming down the road? Might not be, but I could be wrong. I remember his father, when they were, hey, they got $600,000, they got a big house, cars, we didn't know all about all that stuff. But there was a video that I saw. Now, his exact words, what he said or what somebody put in his mouth, I don't know. But there was the intimation that he had told his son beforehand to make sure he's armed. And don't you take no stuff off of anybody. Anybody bothers you, anybody lays the hands on you, you do this, you do that. If that's the case, his father should be prosecuted. And I don't know how many videos survive of what came out of his mouth. Because they were going up and making videos and then took them all down. There's a thing called negligent parenting, okay? And will you tell your teenage son to bring a weapon to school? And I'll say train or cultivate him to think in an aggressive and hostile manner instead of just going to flipping school and play ball or run track or whatever the hell you're going to do. He needs to answer for that if that's the case. We'll see. But then of course, you know, you start thinking about Chud the Builder, the young man in the UK I just talked about, and Arena in the subway. This kid right here. Look at him. McDonald's employee hospitalized in ICU following alleged hot oil attack by a coworker. A 20-year-old McDonald's shift manager suffered second-degree burns after a coworker allegedly threw hot oil on him during a shift in North Carolina. The coworker, 23-year-old Jelani Bluette, was later arrested and faces multiple felony charges. Working at McDonald's, and you got a vicious attitude where you throw hot oil in somebody's face and on their chest and arms. And he was a, as they say, person of color. Where does not just the notion to behave that way come from, but the idea that is in any way justified? This meme got to put up. Radio Genos, they would both still be alive. And it's hard for people not to think that way. Because the one who stabbed Arena, he said, I got that white bee, okay, as an itch. So, you know, there's going to be a backlash. And that's not good. That's not good. But something's got to stop this. And this jury is they're either going to stop it or they're going to make it worse. And something else will happen until something cracks and things come to a head. But Chud the Builder, somebody put this meme up. And a couple of weeks ago, I thought, well, that's a dumb meme to put up. And no, it's not. Which way? You know, there's not a problem with the color of people's skin. There's a problem with the thickness of their skin. I've said that in the past before. If you're so thin-skinned, you hear a word, you want to go wild, you want to end someone's life. What the hell makes you think you've got that right to even think that way? I don't. I've been called some pretty rough names. And, oh well. Sticks and stones. So, yeah, it's getting down to that point. Which way? The only ones paying a price are colonists, right? Or whatever they want to call us. Andy No put this guy up. Who's this? Who's this? What's his name? Valdo Calocane. Pled guilty to manslaughter. He was sentenced to a hospital due to his mental health in 2004. What did he do? And you know, after 14 weeks, a public inquiry has mostly concluded in the investigation of the June 2023 brutal ending of life of 3 people in Nottingham, England, by an African man from Guinea-Bissau, an immigrant. How do you end up there? How do you end up in the UK? Merry old England. The inquiry revealed that before the mass stabbings, the killer had been committed to a mental hospital on 4 occasions, but was discharged early. His medical team, quote, lost track of him. Was there a judge involved in this? Do you all have immigration judges? Do you have anybody that has discernment? Anybody can say, no, we don't want this person in the country. They have to go back. Doctors in the UK are pressured under official anti-racist policy, guidance, and training to not involuntarily commit psychotic, violent black people to try to equalize racial outcomes. 3 people were butchered to death, and the killer tried to kill 3 other people. That's, you know, they're colonists, right? Who cares? Here's one. Two women right here. No, it's a man. A woman and 2 men. He just pounced on them. Here's the third one. Got some kind of trophy. Appears to me to be productive members of the community. Responsible adults. But they had an unfair advantage in life, right? And we don't want anybody to think we're racist. Did I get anybody new in here? Well, hi, Roland. How you doing? Yeah, it's past mental illness. And yeah, it's a spiritual problem. That's why I was, I should have focused. I got more info on that voodoo stuff they were doing outside the courthouse. But I'm so glad that I follow some of these young creators. If I didn't, I would just watch it like Willie D. You'd be thinking, oh my God, what's going on with our world? But I am convinced they are a distinct minority that have been led to believe that they are the majority because of our corrupt media. Lionizing these people. Who's this creep? Citizen Free Press. Meet Beth, who's running for Congress in Massachusetts. My name is Beth. The same tactic is what's caused this business of transgenderism and hedonism. And I said, no, forget calling it woke. It's Satanism. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Or Luciferian, or heretical, or whatever. It's not woke. I'm not using those childish terms. It's evil. But anyway, let's listen to what Beth has to say. And is Beth going to get in there in Massachusetts? What's wrong with your brains in Massachusetts? But wait a minute. This election business, what's going on in California? Maybe the people in Massachusetts aren't nuts. Maybe they're just being defrauded and cheated like the people in California are, like many people around the country are being defrauded out of the control over their own government.
My name is Beth, and I'm running for Congress in the Massachusetts 6th Congressional District. After Trump was elected, my representative Seth Moulton tried to throw trans kids under the bus for his political career. And that's why I stepped up to challenge him. Trans people aren't political props, and slapping a rainbow on a bomb isn't support. Congress needs to take real action.
So apparently this is a person that took a lot of steroids and to grow hair on their face, and God forbid procreates. What's this one here? Some infant may have to endure having that thing for a mother. I'm a strong, independent woman. I'm too dumb to get voter ID. Democrat women, yeah, with the purple hair and the metal all in their face. These people have been given the spotlight for too long. And you know what the thing they're pulling now is like Kristen Welker last night? They got the face. They call it the face. They look at you like, what do you mean voter fraud? What are you talking about? Migrant invasion. Like you don't know what you're talking, like they don't get it. Like there's something wrong with you. They give you that look. Well, here's the meme answer to that. Yeah, don't give us that look. We know what you're about. We're not playing your dumb game anymore. We're gonna call you what you deserve to be called. Miscreants, malcontents, misfits. Like here's a guy. This is Pennsylvania. They started, remember that? Just before Obama got elected, they started the city of brotherly love. Well, here's a guy going around this stupid pride. And again, in Pennsylvania, where it's a stronghold for these weirdos. And that's what I'm calling them. And this is a thin crowd. And they want to attack him. But he mocks them. And it's funny. Ha ha. Watch how he mocks them.
Charlie Kirk got what he deserved. Charlie Kirk got what he deserved? Do these people support political violence?
nothing short.
Do you feel threatened?
Oh, I got it. I got him.
See now, what that behavior right there, where that biker guy, the gay biker guy, I call him Vito. Okay, if any of y'all watch The Sopranos, you know what I'm talking about. You know, button up against him and follow him real close. Hey, you're just, in my opinion, don't go do it. But hey, in my day, he'd been picking up a thief with a broken arm. I'd have gave him a pop. You know, you don't do that to me. Especially, who knows what kind of diseases you got. But anyway, you just saw this woman come up and buck him, did a belly buck, you know. That they're so aggressive, they just wish they could do something to somebody.
That's assault, right? That's assault, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
That's assault.
You fucking asshole! Get arm. Oh, I don't care. I'll punch you in the face if I have to.
Do you support political violence? Do you condone what that lady just did?
I didn't see anything.
Oh, he didn't see anything now. We're gonna run, ready? He's too out of shape. Let's see how long he can hang for. Look, he's already sweating. He's about to collapse.
I'm wearing leather, you moron. Of course I'm sweating.
All right, let's go this way now. We're gonna see how long they can hang for. Oh, look, he couldn't hang. He had to stop. Physical activity is his Achilles heel. Oh, now she's coming. Look at her. Look at her. We're going to get the pride community in shape. Make America healthy again. She's telling somebody to take over.
I just had double knee replacement, bitch.
Why can't you keep running?
Because I just had a double knee replacement, bitch.
I'm sure the knee replacement's the reason why she can't run.
I'm wearing leather. Of course I'm sweating. That's what the biker guy said. And she had 2 knee replacements. Well, looks like a lot more needs to be replaced. But anyway, yeah, he's having a good time. And I'm glad he didn't get hurt. But, hey, these people get dangerous. These people get dangerous, as you can see from Carmelo Anthony. Because, you know, I'm not going to keep harping. Well, I guess I am going to keep harping. But when they get this notion that they're being wronged, they're being oppressed, and they continue a lifestyle and a spiritual outlook, a daily outlook of being a loser and being miserable, and they've been trained to blame somebody else, the only answer is violence for them. That's the only thing they're going to come up with in the end. Instead of them being guided towards some peace of mind, some skills, something to have real pride in yourself, accomplishment. Live the way that God intended us to live. Not independent agents running around declaring what kind of gender you are or demanding everybody accept the prurient notions in your brain about who you sleep with. Some of them are sleeping with animals. There's YouTube videos on regular channels like Law and Crime Network. It's like 3 or 4 videos about school teachers and, you know, supposed to be normal people getting busted for stuff like that. Bestiality. Hey, the only end of that road is hell and misery. And it's going to be somebody else's fault in their brains. Look at this woman here. Look, body language. Look at the face. The stressed out look. That is not Aunt B, right? That is somebody that's got a constant distress and anger and worry. Graham Plattner voter has no problem with his Nazi tattoo. But if he had an Israeli-themed tattoo, that would be a deal breaker. What is it with you, woman? Look at it. She seems so peaceful and calm, doesn't she?
totem pole tattoo, the Nazi tattoo? How do you kind of...
Somebody said that they talked to somebody who had seen one of those or wore one of those, and it was silver, and it didn't even occur to him that it was the same thing. I think people are making as much of it as they can because they don't have a lot of substance around anything else. And if they did, we'd hear about it, believe me. They are trolling for dirt.
What if he had like a Israeli flag tattoo or something? Would that be a deal breaker?
For me?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
That would be
Israeli? Yeah, because I don't support genocide, and he doesn't either. And that would show that he was being inconsistent. And he's been very consistent about that. Straight across the board.
You got a problem, woman. You got a problem. I'm not crazy about Netanyahu. I don't want to send all my money to Israel either. But I'll tell you what, right now, they're the only game in town helping to stamp out the threat of a nuclear disaster. Okay? Let me tell you what's going to happen with that situation. In the long run, Israel's going to have a pipeline from the river to the sea. And they'll have something to offer countries that want to distribute their oil, their goods, or whatever through Israel. And there's going to be what always binds nations together, gets nations to cooperate with one another: trade. Maybe that's why Jesus referred to faith like a mustard seed. How you know how many nations made peace with each other so they could get spices? Hey, if we get into a war with these people, we won't get any more coffee. Or remember that mustard you like? That's where we get our mustard. Oh my gosh. Well, work something out with them. See if we can get a good deal. And we'll trade them our saffron or whatever. And that's what I was talking about Iran. It's going to boil down to where they're not walking around threatening people. They're the only game in town. They can shut down the world. That's not going to be their stock and trade anymore. That power is going to be taken away from them, which they've been threatening for 47 years. What it's going to be coming down to is act civilized and do trade with other countries, or your own people are going to overthrow you. That's the way it's been all through history. Oh, thank you again, Miss Mendersu. I put a link in, but then I start thinking about what am I going to talk about, next, and I forget. I put a link in the description. I mean, in the chat. I always say it in the chats for Buy Me a Coffee, and I want to thank Miss Mendersu. Kaboom! Now she helped start off this week along with Mike and Bev. Kaboom! Going by Buy Me a Coffee. And I tell you what, it was last week just passed by. And Robin, there you go, Miss Mendersu and Robin. Robin helped close out the last week real good, along with Younger Gang. Gary, who dropped some Moabs. I got to do some booms for that. Kaboom, kaboom. He helped start off this week, too, with another Moab. Kaboom. And Wayne. Kaboom, and Younger Gang. And Norm started last week off. Kaboom. So I appreciate it. So if you want to help an old man out, I put a link in the chats at about the 1:02 mark, hour mark roughly. Take you to Buy Me a Coffee. Even if you don't do anything, you can check it out. And if you are able to help support the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. So anyway, this is the first time I've done that, and I didn't have like 10, 20 people drop off in the chats. Hi, Goy, how you doing? Ha ha. Any way you want it there, Goy. Ha ha. Stanton, how you doing? I'll call you Buster. Goy. Ha ha. How's that, Buster? Ha ha ha. So anyway, Anyway, so I'll get around to spotty different things as we go along the talk here. But Trump, they're trying to trip him up on deporting people. They're trying to trip him up on controlling these H-1, whatever they are, visas. They're trying to stop him from having his UFC fight in front. Now, they're stopping the ballroom, trying to stop the ballroom. They're doing every damn thing, and the media is playing right along with them. And he's transformed D.C., and there's barely a peep about it in the regular press. Here's one of the best pictures I've seen. Because the ones I've seen in the past really didn't do the old reflection pool justice as far as showing how nasty it was. But I mean, look at it. For years, that's the way it looked. Algae and filth growing in there. You looked in there and you said, and you see kids wading in. You're like, these parents don't have any brains in their head at all. You could get sepsis from that crap. And, who the hell knows? You get a cut in your foot and get that crap in your body. But anyway, this is the best picture to date I've seen of the transformation of the reflection pool. And what it was exactly what Trump had said was a damn disgrace, a national disgrace for D.C. to look the way they did. Here's a post from Department of War, CTO. Good morning. Nothing can stop the United States of America. Locked in. Yeah, I thought that would make a good thumbnail. I might save that picture for down the road. Locked in. And this was during the upheaval that was happening in the Middle East. And I said Trump had a Rottweiler, a leash in one hand, and a bull mastiff in the other hand. And so I was trying to keep up with what's going on. And Jack Keane put it out there. I've talked about him many times. Keane warns Iran. Trump is holding the card to attack. He's holding the leashes, And that's the bottom line. And that's why you saw the Department of War put that picture up about Trump. Nothing's going to stop him. He's given an opportunity to do something here. You better take it. Now, they're talking about this leak where Trump said was rough with Bibi Netanyahu. He cussed at him, right? Well, let me tell you, I think there's some things that are strategic. And when he was on the phone yesterday with Bibi Netanyahu, and Trump said, if you do anything, we're not behind you. I said that was kind of a green light. And I was right. They went and struck. And they don't just say, point, hey, try to hit it over there. Try to hit over. No, they are doing weeks and months of groundwork and trying to get the most bang for their buck. Now, a lot of people talk about 2C TV. I watch it, here and there. And other reporters and other channels had said that what they did yesterday was this IRGC chief. Because it's the hard heads. And Trump said, well, if we got to keep taking them out until we get down to people we can work with, that's what we're going to have to do. So a lot of people were putting out videos that Trump was bending to Netanyahu, that there's a mole in the Pentagon leaking these calls, all kinds of different stuff. I don't buy it. I think this was a nudge. Now, of course, Hezbollah has been attacking Israel. I think they said 10 or 11 ballistic missiles. They were intercepted. But it's like General Keane said, all it takes is one to get through to cause very serious harm and damage. They had to respond. But it just so happened that it's at a point in the conversation where Trump got to give him a nudge, got to give him a reminder, a taste of what can and will happen if you don't hurry up and make your minds up. And so I believe Trump was well aware of what was going to happen and did happen. And the Patriots are in control. And it ain't Bibi Netanyahu running the show. It ain't Bibi Netanyahu running the show. It's Donald J. Trump. He's the one that holds the cards. But the Mockingbird media just continues. And I hate to keep showing this Midas trash. Here they're celebrating. This was today. Midas trash. Yes, sir. Not the only time Trump will be going down in 2025. This is their big victory. Some petty judge ordering Trump's name to be taken off the Kennedy Center. And unenforceable rulings beyond that, saying, oh, you can't close the Kennedy Center. Well, if the Army Corps engineer says it's unsafe for people to be in there, it's going to be closed. Okay? And that's the way it is. So that part of your ruling, you can go to hell. And Trump is busy trying to save the world, not wanting to roll around in the legal mud with some nothing judge. So, yeah, you want his name down, it's coming down. And it can remain a rat hole, a closed, dark rat hole. And somebody else can come up with the money. His name will be up there in the end. But they love it anytime they think they can project failure. Look at how they portrayed. They took a freeze frame where Trump looks the most blurred and disheveled. This is from pixels, the quality of the film, a freeze frame right in a blur, to make Trump look as bad as possible. And Kirsten Welker sticking her hand out like, calm down, President Trump. I'm a good person. The Midas trash. Trump called Kirsten Welker crooked and stupid, ripped off his mic, and ran off the set of Meet the Press. Meanwhile, Israel just struck Beirut and Iran is threatening full-scale war. It's Sunday. Here's your midday update. And I put in there today, I said, it's Monday, you nitwits. Everything's fine. Losers. Now, I know they blocked me, so it doesn't matter, but they're losers. What's this one? Here we go somehow. CNN. They put it in quotes. Some employee called Daniel Dale. Who the hell knows who Daniel Dale is? President Trump told a bunch of lies before he abruptly walked out of an interview that aired Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press. And one of them was about what he promised Americans about war. Trump told NBC that he never promised not to start a new war. He did, repeatedly. Well, if you idiots had any knowledge of history, you'd know this war's been going on for 47 years. And Trump is the one putting a stop to it. And preventing a disaster of historic proportions by getting rid of their uranium. But they get the bullhorn. CNN. But what happens if you pull their plug or take away their broadcast licenses? they'd all go nuts and call Trump a dictator. What's the story behind this? Have you all heard anything? I'm asking the chats. Did you all hear about the GOP getting their account suspended on X? Did anybody hear why? And do you think it's a big deal? It says X suspends accounts that violate our rules. Didn't say terms of service, it just said rules. So are we looking at censorship? Like under the Biden administration, the Obama administration? Then I start thinking to myself, who's been running? I know Laura Trump took over the GOP, I guess figurehead, I guess, as like Rance Priebus used to be. Because who was really running the GOP as far as money going to candidates, fundraising? And it was Mitch McConnell for years. He could take a promising Republican and starve him out, him or her, and not give him any money. And that would remove the threat of a non-rhino getting in the Republican Party. So I'm not too sure that this is a jab at Trump. Because with as many rhinos we still have in the GOP, they're no friends of mine. I don't like giving it to the GOP, any money. I try to give to individual candidates. I don't trust the GOP. So I'm not sure of the ramifications of this. I don't think this organization is MAGA. I don't think they're American. I think they're beholden to foreign agencies, okay? Just like Mitch McConnell. His wife is Chinese. His wife has multi-million-dollar shipping companies tied in with China. Most people don't know that outside of our group. You all know it. That Mitch McConnell's wife is a Chinese national, and that she's got a multi-million-dollar shipping company. Anyway, here's Trump. It's not possible for Spencer Pratt to have lost the LA runoffs after the big lead he had. Third world nation. Rigged elections. But you don't have any proof. Now they'll be working on great guy Steve Hilton. Won't have results for possibly 2 weeks, according to officials. President DJT. And Spencer Pratt was trying to put a good face on it. Saying, well, we'll come up with votes from somewhere. But no, it didn't turn out that way. He's out. According to them, Donald Trump put this up. No way this could have happened, rigged election. Abe Hamadah said, it's clear California is incapable of running free and fair elections consistent with our Constitution that guarantees a Republican form of government for states. Federalize the election. Decision Desk headquarters. Who the hell's that? The Decision Desk is who called Arizona for Biden when he got, remember, 81 million votes. Rahman wins the second of 2 spots on California's Los Angeles mayor nonpartisan primary. We saw her cry. We saw her give her a concession speech. I can't believe it. Now she's happy as a pig, and you know what? Hi, sweet day. So, well, let me tell you about that sweet day. Spencer Pratt was trying to distance himself from Trump and run on his own issues, not making a race on national politics. He wanted to worry about L.A. and L.A.'s problems. Sweet daydreams. So he pretty much requested Trump to lay low because he didn't want to polarize. He wanted to get bipartisan support for his mayoral run. He was very clear about that. So it's not Trump's fault. He did what Spencer Pratt wanted. And it would have mattered if Trump would have pushed for Spencer Pratt. They'd still cheat. He's not losing because Trump didn't do enough or did too much or whatever. No, he's losing because they're a bunch of crooked, criminal cheaters. And I have to find that video where Hermann Göring, it was played at the Nuremberg trial where he ignored the Chancellor of Germany, delivered from the President of Germany, Hindenburg, where he delivered a notice telling the Reichstag to shut down immediately. And in the Constitution, the president has that right. Hermann Göring ignored him and pushed through a vote that gave the Nazi Party complete control over the government. And that was noted in the Nuremberg trials. And one of the things he was convicted of was defrauding the German people of control of their own government. That's a fact, folks. Look it up. I might have some names wrong, but the facts of the matter at hand are correct. What's this? I got a Fox News article, video. Let me see what this is. What is this? Oh, Tim Walz. Tim Walz. Donald Trump put out a truth about Tim Walz. And also, what's that? Here, is this the one Trump put out? Yeah, Trump put this out. Congressional report slams Minnesota's Walz Ellison for turning blind eye to mass welfare fraud. House Oversight Committee alleges that Minnesota Democrats in the state turned a blind eye to mass fraud because they feared political retribution from the politically active Somali community. So you have people, foreigners coming over here, misrepresenting their purpose for coming to our country, actively working to undermine the Constitution, and they get politically active, they get political power, and they just rob us blind. And you got worms like Ellison and this commie Walz. Hey, he loved China. He took students there many times, right? He's a communist. That's supposed to be outlawed in America because it's incompatible with the Constitution. But anyway, here's this Fox News report.
Top officials like the governor, Tim Walz, and the AG, Keith Ellison, they were aware of the fraud as early as 2020, but they still allowed the payments to go out to the fraudsters. And they say because, according to the report, the reason they did, concerns of potential racial discrimination claims, because many of the defendants are from the Somali immigrant community.
So this is woke gone wrong again. You got people that are committing criminal acts, taking money from taxpayers. Many of these people immigrated to the country. Some of them are not even citizens of the country. And they're using it for fraudulent purposes. And the government knew about it. They didn't do anything about it because they are considered a protected class.
And they attacked the whistleblowers.
Right.
That's part of the report.
Right. So the House Oversight letter to J.D. Vance, this is what they said in that letter. So the committee requests that the White House task force to eliminate fraud thoroughly review all of Minnesota's social services programs in light of the vulnerabilities created by efforts of state officials who, instead of mitigating fraud, actually sought to cover up or minimize reports and findings of fraud. Specifically, the committee's investigation found that senior officials in Minnesota state government, including Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison, were aware of widespread fraud in federally funded social service programs for years, possessed the legal and procedural authority to stop the payments and ban fraudulent providers, but repeatedly failed to act. As a result, potentially billions of American taxpayer dollars were paid to fraudulent actors.
Yeah, they reportedly have $9 billion, they said, has been stolen on high-risk Medicaid spending.
Well, I don't know how many times Trump said it. It's in the trillions. It's in the trillions. And is it going to get to a point where the paralysis is so impossible to ignore that when Trump does something, people will understand why? Here's, even over in Australia, early this morning, they put this video out. He's done. Spencer Pratt knocked down an LA mayoral race, letting everybody know around the world how corrupt our system is. Because this is a worldwide awakening. And I'm not crazy about him, but he's got a lot of reach. He's got a lot of people that watch his videos, and I'm encouraged when it's just blunt, not middle of the road, not mealy-mouthed, not trying to take both sides, just a flat-out declaration they cheated. And then, in the title, Democrats cheated, period. Okay? I wonder what those comments and chats were like. Because he's middle of the road, he gets people from both sides. So, this is, like him or not, and other people that I've talked about, like them or not, Rogan, all these other people I mentioned, they're the news now. And we are the news. The whole gamut, all of us. Somebody, I think Posobiec put this up from Charlie Kirk. Whoa, wait a second. Charlie Kirk. He said back in 2020, 9/1/20, if Democrats will steal this election with mail-in voter fraud if we don't immediately pass mandatory nationwide voter ID. And he was right. He was right. And what an asinine thing to believe. The 81 million votes, anyone who believes that is asinine. It's ridiculous. What's this one? End wokeness. Latin America, since U.S. aid defunding. And we all know, but for people who may be listening on the outside, a lurker who's a left-leaning person just wanting to find out about my content or whatever, USAID was our money, taxpayer money being sent all around the world and found its way to leftist causes and in many cases came right back here to the United States to fund Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and left-leaning politicians and illegal migration, among other great many other things. But Cast, a person named Cast, far right, wins in Chile. Paz, far right, wins in Bolivia. Fujimori, far right, wins in Peru. Noboa, far right, wins in Ecuador. Asfura, far right, wins in Honduras. Fernandez, far right, wins in Costa Rica. Have you heard any of this from the mainstream media? No, not a peep, because they have the power to ignore. And they have to have these misfits and malcontents continue to think that somehow the world agrees with their lunacy, when the exact opposite is the case. Speaking of lunacy, Here she is, Kirsten Welker. Illinois House Speaker says Trump. Now, you guys watched those videos with me last night. Did you get any vibe of race? Illinois House Speaker says Trump racially mistreated NBC's Kirsten Welker during contentious interview over election fraud. Where the hell does he get that from? Trump's had an extensive history of combative relationship with members of the press of all races, with some of his more famous feuds being with CNN's Caitlin Collins and former CNN, I think he said, Jim Acosta. But these people see race in everything. But, you know, that's the continuation of their false narrative that Trump is a racist. You know, and I said about this guy, I don't like his mannerisms. I don't like the angry man shtick. I call it a shtick, where you know, he has to appear hostile and loud, and I don't care for it. And it just he'll pick a subject everybody's 80 or 90% of the people can condemn, and then he'll take that side and act so angry about it. And people say, "Oh, Stephen A. Smith really tells it like it is." You know, it's like Fetterman, big deal. You're a commie, but you're against transgendering children. That doesn't make you a Republican. But so many people, oh, let's welcome him into the party. Same thing with Stephen A. Smith. Here's his bad take about Trump. So Trump can't, you and Donnie Deutsch can keep Trump away from a ball game. The president of the United States can't go to a damn ball game. And the media is already talking about, oh, it is upping the cost of security for the American taxpayer. You don't give a damn about the American taxpayer. Just ask any Somalian. But anyway, here's Stephen A. Smith mouthing off.
New York City coming together and descending upon the visitors, trying to bring home a championship. And I'm going to close by saying this. If they lose tonight, I'm looking right at him. I'm saying it. This is just me. I'm blaming him. I'm blaming the president of the United States of America if the New York Knicks lose this tonight. It is selfish. There is no reason for any president, because of the congestion and the security measures that have to be invoked in order to ensure his safety. There is no president that should be showing up to a game like tonight in New York City. Nobody. If it were Obama, I'd say the same damn thing. This is not the place for the president to be coming. He knows it. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody threw the game so they could blame Trump. And yeah, if Obama went to a basketball game, you'd be the first one wanting to jump in his lap. Don't give me that garbage, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, that's right, Outlandish. They lost, and they're blaming it on Trump. Yeah. And pink suit, that's right. Ha. Yeah. You know, I don't care for him. I just don't like his affect. I don't like the way he talks about issues. It's supposed to be a sport. Now, get this. Here is this one Whoopi? No. Mom Dami, I should be abolished. I'll play that in a minute. I got one I didn't watch yet that said Whoopi is supposedly sticking up for Trump. Let me see. Said, I don't know. Hakeem Jeffries plays dumb when asked about Graham Plattner. I got a question for you. Do you really believe Hakeem Jeffries needs to play dumb about anything? He doesn't have to play dumb. He is dumb. But anyway, I had a video, maybe I didn't upload it, where Whoopi Goldberg was saying, this might be it, that Trump, it's all right for Trump to go to the Knicks game. I don't know. That makes me think even more that it's a setup for them to throw the game and blame Trump. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too paranoid.
I'm sorry. Trump and Mayor Mamdani are Knicks fans and have been. They're New Yorkers. And you can't, there's nothing either one of them can do to change what's happening in this city for this team. They can't, you know, they're there. Okay, there's a lot of, there's a lot of, you know what? I don't think anything can jinx anything. I think these guys are on a mission.
They are on a mission.
On a mission. They're like the Blues Brothers. They're on a mission from God. And they have been winning and doing everything. And, you know, you could be buck naked up in the box and ain't nobody paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please
dear
do
God,
not
I
be.
hope that doesn't
Please
happen.
do not.
Okay, but I will say,
I wouldn't put it past somebody to throw the damn game. And I'm seeing in the chat say, boo Trump. NBA players booed Trump. A bunch of spoiled, rich bastardos booing Trump. Let me see what this is. Laura Loomer. Tomorrow is Nevada's GOP 2nd Congressional District primary, where Trump-endorsed David Flippo will face off against James Settlemyre. I've never heard about this. Nevada. Anybody from Nevada? During his time in the Nevada State Senate, Settlemyre voted for DEI and to give illegal immigrants driver's licenses. There is a reason why Trump didn't endorse Settlemyre. Vote Flippo. So there you go. I didn't know anything about this. A big fat rhino right there in Nevada, up for election. Aha! Revealed. Facial recognition confirms. Delaney Hall agitators were at Minnesota, Portland anti-ICE riots. So we got 3 locations. Jersey, Minnesota, and Oregon. The same people running around from state to state. There's federal laws concerning that were passed after the 1968 Chicago riots. What was it? The convention, the DNC convention. Remember that? So let's see what comes from that, folks. Because they said there's people are going to get arrested about this California business. We just don't know how deep it's going to be, how far it's going to go. Congratulations to the Ohio State Senate for passing Resolution 10 requiring voter ID in Ohio elections. Democrats fought hard against this, presumably so they could cheat. I'm now asking all my Republican friends in the state house to also pass this now and put a constitutional amendment in the ballot so the great people of Ohio can enshrine voter ID in the state constitution. I will be watching, and I'm strongly supportive of this resolution. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So what's around on both ends and high in the middle? Ohio, make sure you vote for the way Donald Trump just said. And here's another post he put out. Oh, he put out a post about this parliamentarian. I've got him 2 posts he put in about a week ago, and I never got around to him. He's the only one bringing it up. The Senate parliamentarian. Senate Majority Leader John Thune should immediately fire the parliamentarian who treats Republicans and everything they stand for horribly. She was put there by then Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid, remember him? And Barack Hussein Obama. May I say more? Need I say more? She is a nasty holdover from Mitch McConnell, a man who has proven to be very disloyal to John Thune, who decided to keep her because he loved giving trillions of dollars to Democrats. He loved giving trillions of dollars to Democrats. But for the Republicans, including the wall, where I ended up having to go around him to build over 1,000 miles and close up our open border, he gave nothing. She is a known radical left lunatic that caters to Democrats and has no respect for Republicans or Republican ideology. Just the other night, as example, she ruled against us on a proposal that would have easily been approved and should have been by anyone else. We have every right to change her and should do so immediately. As long as she's there, she will never give our desperately needed Save America Act approved and put it into full force and effect. President Donald J. Trump. So yeah, that's a big issue. Nobody else is talking about it. The parliamentarian, we want to get rid of that woman. She can go behind the scenes and got a lot of power, and she needs to be removed. President Donald Trump has given the Islamic terrorist regime in Iran endless chances to come to the table and make a deal, but playing these constant negotiation games is getting us nowhere. I don't ascribe to this, but I'm putting it up. We should know this given the fact that we have a national policy known as we do not negotiate with terrorists. Instead of standing strong against the jihadist threat, weak sellouts in the GOP are surrendering to toxic Islamo-commie propaganda fed to them daily by their favorite podcasters. I wonder who she's talking about. Ha ha ha. If this, Tucker Carlson, Kansas Zone, if this spineless subversion continues, a nuclear-armed Iran will nuke the United States the second Trump leaves office, while an Islamo-sympathizing Democrat administration unleashes sleeper cells to enforce the complete Islamification of America. Wake up. Now, she's right about the danger, but how to handle it, I am going with Trump. What's this one? Okay, yeah, Trump put this out. Israel and Iran must immediately stop shooting President Donald J. Trump. This was about like 5 in the morning. Okay. I don't know what oil prices are now. They went up to 90-something a barrel. It wasn't a huge spike. Maybe somebody can look it up, but both sides, Israel and Iran, are looking to do an immediate ceasefire. Final negotiations on peace are proceeding, subject to ignorance or stupidity getting in the way. The blockade will remain in place and in full force and effect until a final deal is reached. Things should move quickly. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And they tried to break the blockade. They tried to run the blockade, and it didn't work. Very shortly there, here you go. The burning engine room, there you go. That's the top of a oil tanker. The burning engine room of tanker MT Mariveau under the Palau flag after being hit by a missile launched by a deck-based fighter of a jet of FA-18 Super Hornet of the U.S. Navy, which took off from the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln in the Gulf of Oman. Here's, let me see. I got not a picture of the strike. I got a video of the, here you go. Here it is. They said it was sinking, but they've kind of changed their tune on that. But it's definitely on fire. Is that a Bill Trump going on the side big time? There's a ship out there. I don't believe it's sinking. And they're pretty good at popping that engine. So, anyway, it was after that where they failed. They failed to break the blockade. They came up with another. Okay, we'll keep trying to ceasefire. Here's another damn another notification I got. It just makes me mad. This was early in the morning. Pops up on my phone. Big emergency in China. What is it? What could it be? Chinese refiners have delayed or indefinitely postponed 500,000 barrels per day of refining capacity due to severe Middle Eastern crude supply disruptions at the Strait of Hormuz and caused by the war in Iran. This is thanks to Google. This is why I'm getting this notification. And I know they're putting it on other people's phones. I guess it's Al Jazeera and some other creepy news sites. But hey, less demand, okay? It's called supply and demand. That equals price, right? Who cares? And don't feed me this business that they're not getting oil from Russia. Russia has just as big or more reserves than Saudi Arabia. And they're right there below China. They're neighbors. So quit trying to goose the markets. It ain't going to work. You know, I meant to put this picture up. Brace yourselves, folks. Brace yourselves. I meant to put this picture up when I was talking about the Carmelo Anthony and how, hey, which way are we going to go, Western man, right? Brace yourselves. The EZT, an Adelaide man who filmed an Indian migrant defecating in public, has been arrested by the Australian Federal Police for using a carriage service to menace and harass. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke confirmed. We have zero tolerance for racial hatred in modern Australia. So I'm going to show you this, and I will not get to go to Australia. See, if you put this up, if I go outside and go to the park and there's somebody from Cameroon or Senegal just squatting in the park and taking a dump, I can't say nothing. I'll go to jail. The man who filmed Indian man defecating in viral video arrested as Tony Burke defends modern Australia. There you go, modern Australia. You can keep it. And, you're lying, you're hiding from the people. That oil reserves I told you about, you're making everybody live like third worlders, claiming the global warming. Here's a video, a lucky guy. This is in Ukraine. A drone flying. He's in a high-rise apartment, and he sees this drone coming. So now you know what it's like, what they look like, and what it's like. I don't know. If I'd have seen that thing coming, I don't think I would have stayed there and filmed. I'd have ran somewhere. That thing blew up right behind him. Right behind him. It was in Odessa. Thousands of them. They're flying thousands of those damn things. Where's that one video I had of Hakeem Jeffries? Let me see. Can he play dumb? Hakeem Jeffries played dumb when asked about Graham Plattner. He doesn't have to play dumb. He's dumb as hell. Low IQ. Timu Obama. I think it starts off, she asks him, whatever happened to believe all women? Yeah, what about that? What about that?
What happened to believe all women?
I haven't followed these allegations closely, but what I have said is that violence against women in any way, shape, or form is unacceptable. It's a red line, and nobody should cross that. And any accuser who comes forward has to be treated with dignity and respect. I haven't talked to Ro Khanna about this particular race, and in fact, I haven't gotten involved in this particular race because we're focused on taking back control of the House of Representatives.
Yeah, good luck with that. But man, how close we would be if it wasn't for Trump, for them having total control over our lives. My God, talk about people needing psychiatric care if they knew what was going to happen with these people taking over. I put a link in the chats for buy me a coffee if anybody wants to help out. And I appreciate everybody who helped out with buy me a coffee and started off the week. Miss Mendesue and Gary and everybody else that helped last week with buy me a coffee. This, let me check. Team Obama, yeah. Anyway, my chat's froze. There we go. It's moving now. Yeah, Todd, he was never an oyster farmer. He went and got Mom's restaurant. And then he, hey, we're an oyster farmer. So anyway, this is Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani, what's he doing? Oh, he wants to abolish ICE. Okay, so you know. He's a wolf in wolf's clothing. I'll put it that way. Video. And what do I always say? Thank you, Miss Mendesue, for putting in booms, and thank you for your Moab and Gary's Moabs and everybody else that helped out. There's my hearts. Made it a great week last week. Mike and Bev helped out this evening, too. Let me give them a boom. They started off this week. Boom for Mike and Bev. They also helped out last week. Boom. And Norm started Younger Gang. Wayne and Robin. Yeah. So anyway, and along with Gary helped out last week too. A lot of people. I appreciate it all. So anyway, enjoy this video. What do I always say? I say, thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live. Well, you know, if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. If you hit the notification button, right? So why don't you go ahead and do that, folks? But anyway, I hope you all have a great night. Enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Very clear about the fact that I believe that ICE raids are cruel, they are inhumane, they do nothing to serve in the interest of public safety. I've shared that directly with the president. I've shared that in public. It is a feeling that many New Yorkers share. And I also do believe that ICE as an entity is one that should be abolished and that we should return to an immigration system that has more humanity.